What's up guys, it's Rota here and welcome back to yet another amazing video on the channel. We're simply keeping it rogue. And for today's video, I do have a very special deck profile for you guys. We have one of the current best decks, if not the best deck of the format right here, right now on the channel as a deck profile for you guys. We're going to be discussing the ratios, why I play it, and budget alternatives you can use, of course. If you did enjoy this video, make sure you do subscribe and leave a comment down below. Make sure you're here for the 1,000 subscriber giveaway. Trust me, you guys, you don't want to miss it. 95% of you who watch this video are not subscribed. So what are you doing? Make sure you smash that subscribe button and make sure you're here for all our latest videos. So without any further ado, let's get straight into this deck profile. Alright guys, so moving on to the main deck here, we do of course play the most important Drytron name, which is Triple Drytron Alpha. So he's going to give you access to every single ritual monster in the game. Yes guys, every single ritual monster in the game. Hence why we're playing him at 3. He is very crucial to adding your Ben 10. So that is literally it for the 3 offs of the Drytrons, and now we're just playing one Zeta. He is your ritual spell adder. We are playing one Gamma. He is basically your monster reborn. And then your one Delta. He is basically your just upstart goblin, you draw one. So I only play 6 Drytrons in the entire Drytron deck. And that's because guys, they are very accessible and they do not banish themselves once they're in the grave, so you can continually loop them every single turn. That's it for the Drytron monsters, and now we're going to be moving on to the supporting engine, which are the fairies. So we are going to be playing Triple Herald of the Orange Light. He is a light fairy, so can be searched. He is your monster negator. We do have the one Herald of the Green Light. This can easily be the purple light. I just prefer the green light. It's all up to preference. And then our one Eva here. And Eva will allow us to search our green and orange during opponent's turn, which gives us more negates and more interruptions. So that is it mainly for the Fairy Light Hand Trap account. And now we're going to be moving on to the main normal summons of the deck here. We got one Vanity's Ruler. Basically, he just says no to special summoning. Many decks auto-lose this card, especially if you pair it up with a Herald. If they try imperming it, you can Herald negate. If they forbidden droplets, if they don't send a monster, you can still Herald negate. So very important card. Basically one of your win conditions in the deck. Absolutely insane. Moving on to your second normal summon of the deck here, we just have one Mandrew. Usually, if your hand isn't that good, you'll be basically searching your Mandrew and then you'll just leave him in the deck for later use. So Mandrew is basically your backup normal in some cases, and he just gets you a ritual monster or spell. We all know what Mandrew does. And for the brick of the deck, we do have our one Dawn Knight. I have had games where I've had to normal him along with a Drytron and then link them away and get his effect that way. So he's not too bad if he's in your hand, but you mostly just want to equip him with a Union Carrier. That is it for basically the main monster lineup in the deck, and we're going to be playing, of course, for our hand traps, Triple Ash Blossom. This can be any hand trap you want. I just prefer Triple Ash, most effective hand trap that there is, in my opinion. Moving on for the rituals here, so we're out the main monsters, we're now on to the ritual monsters. We of course have Triple Ben 10. There isn't a Drytron deck without Triple Ben 10. There's a reason this card is basically talked about being hit on the list. The fact that he isn't once per turn, just a very poorly designed card. You can just loop him constantly, every single turn, multiple times, get yourself a bunch of light fairies and basically just sculpt your hand to how you want it to be. Absolutely insane. So in my opinion, if Drytron was going to get hit, it will be Ben 10, but hopefully they don't hit the deck at all. For our next ritual monster here, we do have one Cyber Angel Natasha. Absolutely insane for the OTKs. Absolutely insane in time, gives you life points, negates attacks, takes opponent's monsters. What more can you ask for? It literally takes one of your opponent's monsters and special. It gives you 2 bodies on board for the cost of banishing a Cyber Angel in the grave. Very nice card indeed. And for our last ritual here, we do play the Ultimateness instead of the Perfection, just for the fact that this can negate special summons as well. So that is why it's basically free. It's a free body because it's just 2k attack, so it's just one Drytron monster and boom, he's out. And he can negate things multiple times, not once per turn, not once per chain. That is it for the main monsters in the deck, and now we're playing the spell cards here. So for maximum consistency, we are playing triple of the field spell, of course, Fafnir. This is basically used to get your Drytron Nova, which we do play 3 of as well. If you do have a Nova, of course, you can add your ritual spell with your field spell. Don't forget that your ritual spell activations and summons cannot be negated. It's basically like a magical meltdown. And if there's a Drytron monster on board while this is on the field, when your opponent summons a monster, you can reduce its level. Very, very useful in the virtual world matchup. And continuing with the consistency cards, this is a very consistent deck, guys. Triple Cyber Emergency gets you access to any Drytron. So essentially we're playing 6 copies of Alpha and 4 copies of every other Drytron. We're also playing Triple Preparation of Rites. This is basically just for more Ben 10s. Mostly Ben 10s, you can add Natashas and stuff like that. You can't add Ultimatus, so basically just for Ben 10 and Natasha. Basically 6 ways of seeing Ben 10 and 2 ways of seeing Natasha, but Natasha is not really that important, so that's why we're going to be mostly using this for Ben 10. Also can grab you the Ritual Spell out the grave as well. Very, very nice. For our power spells here, I am playing Triple Forbidden Droplet. Absolutely insane card, guys. This is basically a Dragoon out if they don't have Chuchi, and is a out to other Vanity Rulers and other problematic cards like that, like Dragoon as well. So very, very useful card. If you can't afford this card, I understand. You can just play Triple Impermanence as well. That's more of a budget option. Can't afford Impermanence, you can just play Triple Forbidden Chalice, and that is very, very budget. Moving on to the last few spells here. We do have double Triple Tactics Talent. I'm going to be honest with you guys, I'm not very happy with this card, to be honest. It's not performing as good as I thought it would be. In my opinion, if you can't afford this card, it's absolutely fine. You can literally just play 1 Call By and 1 Instant Fusion, and that might do you guys even better. So double Triple Tactics Talent, most likely this is the card that will be getting taken out if there are any more future profiles for this deck. And the last spell, of course, can't play without it. It's the 1 Ritual Spell. Meteornist Drytron, absolutely insane card, lets you ritual using attack and returns to your hand once per turn by reducing the attack of one of your Drytron monsters. So basically 2 uses every single turn. Very, very nice. So now we'll be moving on to the extra deck. Alright guys, so moving on to the extra deck here, we are going to start it off with the card I am debating taking out. It is 1 Herald of the Arclight. Theory behind this is if you go against any Dogmatica matchups, you can just send this card and your linked version of this and add yourself cards, but in theory is not the same as in testing. In testing it hasn't really come up that much. Can replace this with your Thousand Eyes Restrict, a Millennium Thousand Eyes Restrict if you do play the Instant Fusion, and that basically just acts as a second Call By the Grave and will probably do better than this card. So warning guys, I'd probably replace this card with Millennium Eyes Restrict. For the level 1s here, I couldn't really decide if I wanted to play Fucho or Lyra, so I just played both. In terms of maybe sometimes I need the Lyra and sometimes I need the Fucho, so I just play both not to miss out in any. You can of course cut one out. This isn't exactly the most refined extra deck here, but this is just a very base guide of the options you have, so I just play 2 of the level 1s. This proxy is of course the Downward Magician. You 100% need the Downward Magician if you are playing these cards. The extra Send Off Zeus is essential. And since we are talking about Zeus, might as well bring him out. Zeus, this is your other win condition. So you basically have your Vanities Ruler, your Herald, and then you have this. So basically we're going to be doing this is usually making your Lyra-Lisk, attacking directly, slapping on your Magician, and then making your Zeus, and that is a 4 material Zeus that can send twice per turn. Twice per turn. As long as it has materials, it can send as many times as it wants, really, and it's not once per turn. Not once per chain. We all know how insane Zeus is. That is why we're playing him. Now we are onto the links here. Very standard. The Link Rebo and the Anima. Very, very standard guys here. You need them basically to make your carrier. If you have, for example, a Drytron on the field, you're going to want to link it first before using its effects. So that's why I played the Link Rebo and the Anima. We have 1 Nightmare Cerberus. This is to get over Zeus's. And we do play Nibiru in the side deck. There's another way of getting rid of the token. Very, very nice. We are playing the Nightmare Phoenix. Just spell and trap removal. Deck can struggle with that. The IP Masquerena. This is basically used during your opponent's turn to either make your Unicorn or Appaloosa. Very, very nice card. One of the most important cards in the extra deck here, it is of course Union Carrier. He will equip the Dawn Knight, and then he is a light machine with 2000 attack that can be used to bring back any of your rituals in grave, and that will also trigger Dawn Knight when he's sent to the grave. So basically a very essential card and absolutely mandatory in this deck. Moving on to the other link to here, we do have Herald of the Mirage Lights. There are combos where you just can't end with your ultimateness because your hand isn't that good, but you can usually end with him and a Vanity's Ruler, and he is your spell and trap negate. And when he's sent to the grave, he also grabs you additional resources as well, so he's a very good card. For the link 3s, I only play one, and in my opinion, it's pretty much the best link 3, which is your Nightmare Unicorn. You're going to be using this because your access code is going to be getting very, very big when you target your Nightmare Unicorn in the grave. He'll be up to 5/3 and will have usually 2 sends of a dark and a light, so very, very nice. That is why these two pair up very, very well. All you need is one more monster with Nightmare Unicorn and you make your access code. And for the last card here, I am just playing a Appaloosa. Sometimes you just want to negate things and Appaloosa lets you do that. So that is the end of the profile, guys. I hope you guys did enjoy. I'm going to be cutting to the outro screen. Alright guys, so that is the end of the deck profile. Let me know what you guys would change. There are a few things that I in testing have noticed, so I would change them. I have mentioned what they are. If you guys have a different build you want me to show on the channel, there's Megalith build, there is just pure Herald build. Make sure you guys do leave a comment down below in the comment section, and I will gladly reply to you and take that into consideration for the next video on the channel. So thank you so much for watching. This is YuGiOh here, and stay safe.
It's time! Let's go!